Hey, good evening, everybody, and welcome to the show, Tuesday night edition of Into the Night with me, Sean Kelly. Michael, good to see you. Thank you. Happy birthday. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. Um, I just want to tell you guys that I have a great show coming up tonight. Um, this group, this guy who I have followed on TikTok, and I've met him a couple of times. He's awesome. It just the really well around awesome group. And but before I get them on the show tonight, I just want to thank UPRN Talk Radio 105.3 New Orleans, 107.7 Mississippi, and I also want to thank Carnation for sponsoring my show tonight, and also my Sunday night show that is from 8:10 to 9:10 p.m. on the same platform right here. Um, so how was everybody's week? Uh, I know for me, the weather's crazy. The weather is crazy. It's hotter than hell. I'm sweating like a pig, but you know what? It's not stopping me bringing my guests and my message to you guys for this 1 hour. Um, who knows what's coming down the future for everybody? I know that now it's getting warmer. There's getting to become a little bit more paranormal investigations by a lot of people, and I'm really looking forward to hearing everybody's story. If you want to be a guest on my show, please send a message to me on the Pittsburgh Paranormal Society Facebook page. Tonight's guest, um, his name is Sean Bowman. He is a lead investigator and owner of Bump in the Night Society, a paranormal team out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. He helped form the group in 2020. He was previously one of the lead investigators, Celestial Oddities, Paraseekers. He is also the co-host of Exploring Your Society with fellow team members, Mickey Bowser. Sean hopes to someday be able to fulfill his dream of working in the paranormal field full time. Now, the Bump in the Night Society was established in 2020. The Bump in the Night Society was established and has since become Pittsburgh's leading authority on all matters that go bump in the night. Though a distinctive blend of scientific theories, which I want to, get more into the scientific theories with them, in-depth historical research, and comedic relief, the team has made a name for themselves in the realm of the paranormal. With a combined following of over 300,000 across all social platforms, the team intends to continue promoting their brand and exploring the unknown. And without further ado, I want to welcome my guest tonight, Sean Bowman, and a fellow teammate of his, Randall Cole. Good evening,
What's up, Sean? Thanks
gentlemen.
for having us.
Hey, good to
Hello.
What's
have
up, man?
you
Thanks
in.
for having us.
Oh, my gosh, I'm excited. I've been watching your stuff on TikTok and on YouTube and on your Facebook page, and being a paranormal investigator myself, I just watch how you perform your investigations, and what I see from you guys is a lot of professionalism when you do one. Hey, Sebastian, good to see you, buddy.
What's up,
And
Sebastian?
Hi, Sebastian.
and it just makes me smile because I turned 62 today, but you guys are young, and honestly, it is so nice to see the younger generation come in and actually take advantage of supporting the paranormal field. Um, let's start off with you, Sean. Tell us a little bit about yourself, and you can go from there.
Oh, I'm 43. I don't know if that's young. Randall's young. He's only 30.
But
Definitely don't feel young.
he's
I'll tell you
beyond
that
you.
much. But yeah, I'm from Pittsburgh. Currently live in Heidelberg. Originally from Beachview. Been involved in the paranormal team wise, probably like, I don't know, 5 years or so. But before that, me and my wife would do stuff together and just growing up, doing stuff since I was a kid, pretty much, on my own. had my first experience when I was, I don't know, 4 or 5, I think, in my old house. It was like, I've told the story before, but me and my brother both saw some guy in a trench coat in our hallway by like the basement door, and had my dad look through the whole house. Nobody was there. My brother's 6 years older than me, so it wasn't just like me being a little kid seeing something. Like, he still remembers it to this day too. But yeah, that was my first experience.
How about you, Randall?
So I'm generally newer to the paranormal field, but I guess back to basics. My name's Randall. I'm from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I am a videographer and photographer, all things camera, visual arts related. Teamed up with Bump in the Night Society through Sean last year, and they made me an official team member this year for the videography part. Thank you. But yeah, as for like being in the field, I guess like 2020, I kind of got like a little more interested in it, started to do investigations on my own, and was actively looking for like somebody who is more serious about it. And I can't remember how I came across like you guys. I think somebody like recommended it to me, like to give you an email about like doing video. So I was like, okay, I'll give it a shot. And yeah, it's been a really.
I think Troy originally told me to put out like an email about finding people for video. I think that's how I got a hold of you.
I'm so happy that I that I took that email. That's for sure, because some of the places that we've gone have been really cool. I've created a lot of really cool content for YouTube. And yeah, I've always been interested in the paranormal. Ever since I was a kid, I've always been a big fan of horror movies, and going in the woods and just, like, camping out with my friends and telling ghost stories. So yeah, I was just kind of destined to be here.
You know what? Everything happens for a reason. I believe that in my book. Everything happens.
I did too.
And like I said at the beginning, you lucked out being with Sean's group. Honest to Pete.
I agree.
Now, oh yeah, absolutely. So, Randall, back to you. You said a little bit how you were interested in joining the paranormal field. What is your major goal? What is your major goal in the paranormal field? Do you understand what I'm talking about?
I do. I guess really to just like enlighten people about it, because you think like the paranormal investigating is a relatively not new, but like the way that it's done now is relatively new. And I feel like a lot of people look at it still and they're just like, oh, I don't really know how I feel about it. There's all this stuff about this person faking evidence and like, whatever mega shows are out there doing that kind of stuff. But I think it really ties back into just eliminating skepticism and making people just think a little bit more about this kind of stuff, and realizing that, if you put yourself into it, it is real. And I'm living proof. Okay.
How about you, Sean? What is your final outcome? What is your final thing you want to accomplish?
I mean, like I said, kind of in the bio, I'd like to just do this full time. I'd have to work a 9 to 5. I like helping people out with home investigations and doing a lot of the big buildings and just like seeing what's out there. And I'm still probably the most skeptical person in our group, I would think, by a long shot. I know I've seen a lot of stuff, but I don't know. It seems like 9 times out of 10, you look back on it, you can, there's an explanation for it. So I guess I'm just kind of trying to like prove to myself too, that there is ghosts out there, I guess.
Okay. Now, hey, Jeff, good to see you. Joe Fox, thanks, brother, for coming in. Sebastian, good to see you, buddy. Yeah, so how do you deal with skeptics? Whenever you get some decent evidence and you put it out there, how do you deal with your skeptics?
It depends. We actually had a video that we just put out recently, well, in the last month or whatever, from Bain Library with a cat ball, and the cat ball started moving on its own. Yeah, and but we had a lot of criticism from that. Actually, people saying we were faking. I was like, I don't know how we're faking it, and like why we would fake it, you know. But
Right.
I mean, I pretty much for the most part will just ignore people like that. When
Mhm.
they start attacking me or my team, then maybe I'll get a little bit more defensive, I guess. Because there were some people that got kind of rude on there, and I was kind of a smart ass a little bit here and there, but for the most part, I try to just ignore that type of stuff.
Now at the main library, I know I investigated that place in 2013, and
Okay.
we got a lot of evidence up in on the third floor. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Did you get where did you get some up there?
Well, that was, yeah, that was. I think that was where we were at when the ball was rolling. I
Right.
actually wasn't in that room when that happened. Uh, like Jen and Mikey and Nick and Bree, I think were up there because me, Ken, and Sue were downstairs. But yeah, that happened up there, and then we had stuff pretty much throughout the whole night. Like on the what would be the second floor, I guess. We had a lot of stuff with flashlights and REM pods and stuff like that. And the REM pods we were using too were like, you know, like the more legit ones, the one that can't be, you know, triggered by
Right.
like walkie talkies or nothing like that. And we had those going off. So, yeah, Bane was a pretty cool experience.
No, it was. I really enjoyed it down there. We did get a lot of stuff there up on the third floor and say it was just good. At that time, I had a TV show called Raw Paranormal. Well, I forget Paranormal Pittsburgh, something like that, and
Mhm.
we filmed down there, but I never got to get it on TV. But it was a lot of fun. How about you, Randall?
What was the question again? I'm sorry.
No, well, how do you deal with your skeptics? How people deal with? How do you
Uh,
deal with people telling you what you have there is not legit?
I kind of just say, prove to me that it isn't real. Because that can really open up a conversation like, okay, why do you think that this isn't real? Like, do you think that it's falsified evidence, or are you just like skeptic for whatever personal reasons? And that kind of just gets a conversation going about it. So like, if you are a skeptic, I would never be like, oh no, that's wrong to be a skeptic. No, it's good to be a skeptic because that means
Right.
you're thinking, you're using your brain to be like, okay, this isn't paranormal evidence. This can easily be explained, but to the
Right.
things that cannot be explained, which I have experienced, that's a little more mind bending.
Now, my experience, because when I first started in 2006, it was like the infancy of paranormal investigating. Okay, and I was so proud of the stuff that we caught. That I put it out there. Oh my God, was it terrible? Oh my God, I'd get so mad because it was ridiculed forever. But I
Hmm.
learned
Yeah.
down the road that I just didn't put it up. You know what I mean? I just didn't put it up, and I would only show it to people who kind of like understood what was going on. It's like at the beginning, and I'll be honest with you guys, I was trying to prove a point to everybody out in the world that spirits exist, but you know what? It's just not going to happen. And but that's how I dealt with it. And then eventually, what I would do if someone would tell me stuff, um, I would actually bring them along on an investigation. Hey, brother, what's up? That's my brother Patrick.
Oh,
Um,
what's up there?
Hi, Patrick.
and I said, listen, why don't you just come along on an investigation with us? I'm not here to change your minds. You know, just come with us. And usually they experience something. You know what I mean? And so it's like, cool. And then, but it never did change their minds. But I just wanted, eventually, as time went on, I wanted to give everybody the opportunity to experience what we experienced. You know? But tell me, what,
Yeah, that's
go ahead, please.
with the whole cat ball thing. I remember there's actually a guy that was on there who was kind of, you know, making assumptions and that. And I told him, I said, he was local. I said, come out with us sometime. You want to see something? Come with us. Like, stop just talking crap on the internet, and we'll come out and see what you see for yourself.
Right. Okay. Hey, they're getting pushed or playing with their. Shut up. We know a couple people like that who we would go good times. He said there was a couple times we had one girl in the group that no matter where we went, she got her hair touched and she got pushed. So it was like, nah. But speaking of equipment now, what's your favorite?
This always changes. People always ask me this question. It always changes. One of my favorite things, though, I like the flux a lot. The yes or no triangle, green, red. I like to use that a lot. Use millimeters. I got a new Zoom recorder for my daughter for my birthday, actually, and that's a really nice piece of equipment. I haven't really got a whole lot on it yet, but it's cool because like you can listen to live recordings and everything too, and I like that piece of equipment too.
Mm-hmm.
Now, how about you there, Randall?
I mean, personally, being a camera guy, obviously, all kinds of video cameras, camcorders, the infrared cameras. That's honestly my favorite. But if I were to pick outside of that, I think REM pods are really cool. I think I've seen them go off without any like human interference before, or
Right.
really not a whole lot of explanation. And I honestly that's really cool to me.
Okay, now here's the question I want to ask you, Randall. I don't know how many cameras you use during an investigation, but who sits in front of the video and watch all that video?
I do. I'll usually run about 2 cameras, and then Ryan, who's also a team member, he usually has like a camera or 2 that he records with. Mikey sometimes has camcorders, but footage wise, I'll sit through it all. I've spent days recording or watching footage back and just making it into a documentary edit. And honestly, I like it because that gives me a chance to look at stuff that I may not have experienced at the investigation. So, sometimes when I'm editing, I'll come across something and be like, "Oh, I don't remember this. What is this? That's super weird." And I'll make a note of it in the video. And then other times, like if we're confused about something during an investigation, I can watch that back and if somebody's like, "Oh, did you hear that person like exhale? Like, did anybody exhale? Whatever, something like that." I'll go back and I'll actually like see somebody exhaling, and I'll be like, "Oh, that's not evidence then."
Okay.
That reminds me of the hand at Hinsdale, the Hinsdale house. And remember, Ryan, the Hinsdale house, we had a hand like come in front of the camera.
Oh yeah, that was weird.
We were all up at the giving tree, and nobody was at the house. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
That's why I like to have those cameras, running while nobody's around, because you watch that stuff back and you're like, "Whoa, what is that?"
We saw it that night too. Like,
Instill's crazy.
That night. Yeah.
That was a crazy place, and
yeah.
My car didn't start the next day. There was a thing.
I've heard that happen before with people. Yes.
Yeah. My car did not start, and they had to call a tow truck company to come out and jump my car in order to go. But what I liked about the Hinsdale house was up there, the tree that had all the things hanging from it. Oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah.
My brother brought up a good thing. He says deer cams. I love deer cams. Do you guys use them at all?
Not. I don't think anybody on our team has them. I've been with other people that have used them before. I don't think anybody on our team has any.
I think Mikey had a trail cam, but I'm not sure he hasn't used it in a while.
Because most of the good evidence that I have got was from the trail cams.
Mm-hmm.
All you do is set it up. You set it up on video, and just let it go. And whatever comes by, we got a lot of good evidence on that. So I was reading the bio here, and it says something about your scientific means. Please explain that a little bit more, Sean. What scientific things do you do?
That's more or less what Mikey does. I mean, we all take a part of it, I guess, too. But he likes to do all sorts of different experiments and stuff. Like he has this
Okay.
one where we bring in like this big like metal fan, and we put a whole bunch of magnets in it. We put a bunch of EMF pumps in it, and like little plasma balls. And we put a tarp over, like we let it all get fired up. So then when you release it, there's a lot of EMF in the
Right.
air, and it definitely affects you. Like I actually don't like doing it anymore because last few times I've done it, like it's giving me like panic attacks the next day and
Really?
stuff like
Really?
that. Yeah, because I think the EMF, like the high EMF, affects me. But it does cause stuff. Like we've done it at Bel Air before. We had the bed shaken the one time, like the bed shook after we did it. Um, Even stuff at Hinsdale actually when Randall, you were there, like when we ran that in the
Yeah.
living room or whatever. But so I think it does cause stuff to happen. I just don't feel like it's safe to be around.
Um, so everyone in the chat is talking about the Bel Air house. Jeff Town was sitting in the Bel Air house waiting for a team, and he says his legs were cold, and the candle came on by itself and went cold and went away. The candle went out. That's happened to us. I'll have to show you guys or send you guys a video on that. What happened to us down there at the Bel Air? I love the Bel Air. See, I can't go down for one
Yeah.
day. I need to go for a weekend in order down there. And this is BITNS, whoever that is. Bel Air
That's
is one of
Randall, actually.
that's who? Who's
That's
that?
Randall.
Is it Randall?
Randall.
Yeah,
It is
that's
the
the
location.
channel for Bump.
Oh, what a dumbass I am, huh?
It's okay.
Wow, that okay. Now I remember that. But I tell you my experience at the Bel Air House, and after I share mine, I would love to hear yours. Um, a couple of things happened. The very first time I went down there, we were there Friday night and Saturday night, and there was a Friday night, and it was like the house was all happy. You know, we were getting happy interaction with the spirits down there. But Saturday afternoon, for some reason, you could just feel the house turn into anger.
Mm-hmm.
It started to get angry, and that was a scary night. That was a really, really scary night. And the next time, and it was bad. We got a lot of shit happened that wasn't friendly, but it was amazing how the house just changed from happy
Mm-hmm.
and it turned into anger. And then the second time, me and an investigator that was on my team, we were down in the cellar. Okay, and honest to God, he heard something run up on him, and that was crazy down there. I'm telling you, there's an alien down there or something like that. But it's crazy. So tell me, guys, what was your experience at the Bel Air House?
I've definitely had numerous experiences, and I've been there a bunch of times. We actually last 2 years we've done our Thanksgiving event there for a full weekend where we cook a big Thanksgiving dinner and
Oh,
have
cool.
obviously our team there and a couple of special guests show up too. Like Kristen will come up, and we've had Cindy from the Ross House come up and we'll eat dinner and stuff. But yeah, the craziest thing I ever saw was actually the very first time I was there and I saw possession. Um, it was the only time I was ever actually scared. I've told this story a million times, but I could tell it again if you want.
Please do, man. This will be a million one time here. Please tell.
Well, this was when I was with the old team beforehand. Like Jen wasn't even part of the group at the time, and we were at the house in the living room doing an Estes on the ground. The one guy who was like the other lead from the group I was in was on the ground doing it. There was a guy behind him sitting on the couch, and as he's doing it, the guy on the couch started crying, and he wasn't part of our group, so I didn't really know that guy that well. He was like one of the guests of the other group, um, but we're like, you know, his name was Eddie. I was like, Eddie, like, what's wrong? He won't answer me, and he keeps crying. And we bring him outside. Me and April, who's part of our group now, she wasn't really at the time either. But we bring him outside. And we're holding his hands, and people are trying to like pray on him and sage him and all sorts of stuff. And he's laughing at them. He started like him or humming, I guess, like an old like slave type of song, like a like a weight in the
Okay.
water or something like that, like something that was out of character that he wouldn't be doing. We eventually brought him back in. Garrett, the other guy from the other group, he's pretty deep in the occult. You probably know him, Frater Crow. He goes by actually.
Yeah, it's Freddie right there. He's in the chat room.
There he is.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh,
there's Frater right there. Yeah, so
hey,
he did.
Ryan, good to see you, buddy.
There's Ryan.
He did like
Yeah.
a ceremony in that, and you know, everything like started going crazy. Like the candles, talking about the candles, started flickering like, and then went completely out. The dude Eddie kept saying, "It's not a little girl. It's not a little girl." He said, "It's coming down the hallway. It's walking on the ceiling." Like we don't see anything. What's going on?
Right.
And then behind him, me and April both heard "Get Out" from nowhere. So that was like, I think that was like my first like big experience at Bel Air. Now I've had other things happen at Bel Air, not as big as that, but one of the other things that happened, talking about the basement, me and April were in the basement. I think we were just doing like an EVP session or something, and pitch dark, middle of the night, and we could hear somebody in front of us breathing, like heavy, like chest breathing. You could hear somebody standing right in front of us breathing. We've had other things happen, just like you see us, we goof around and stuff.
Yeah.
So during the day, like, we'll play music, we'll dance around, we'll film some TikTok, stuff like that. And April, I don't know if she was off her meds or what was going on with her that day, but she was acting up. And she's like dancing around, and she was playing with the S box, like trying to talk to it like as a phone. You actually heard a ringtone come through the S box, which was really weird.
Oh, wow. Wow.
And she was like acting up so much too. The lights went off. Like all of a sudden the lights flicked off and flicked back on. And it was like, knock it off is what it sounded like. So what it seemed like to us. But yeah, so Bel Air is always a good time.
That's actually scary. Like, especially that guy humming part. Like that would freak me out.
Yeah.
Like when after that happened, like Frater knows, I mean, he was there. After that happened, like I had to go to the bathroom. And like I said, Jen wasn't with me. I called her on the phone, was like, I'm going to use the bathroom. I'm not trying to go to the bathroom by myself, so I'm going to talk to you the whole time. And the funny thing, the funny thing is, too, is I slept in Emily Davis's room, which, was
you did? Okay.
Yeah, by myself that night. I kept staring at the closet and had the light on the whole night.
Yes. And they say paranormal investigators don't get scared. Of course we do. Of course we do.
But I mean, I still love the place. And like I said, I've been back.
Oh, God, yeah. And then we got Cindy. She's in. She said she knows he was talking about. Cindy Kuhn, how are you? Good to see you. Welcome, hon. She
Hi,
has
Cindy.
the Ross house. She has the Ross house. And I was in the investigation down there. And that place is pretty haunted, too. How about
Cindy
you guys?
actually came up for our Thanksgiving event this past year. She stopped up.
And did you?
Randall, what about you?
I guess you investigated that place, the Ross House. Did you?
Yeah, we've done
We
the
did
Ross
back
House before.
January, yeah.
I know, Randall. You have a cool story about Bel Air though too. I think that was before we were
Yeah.
a part of the same group.
Okay,
Yeah,
Randall, please tell me yours.
It's another one that I tell everybody. It's it was my first my first actual paranormal investigation. I think it was like 2 years ago, like 2022, something like that. Just a couple friends and I went. We wanted to check out the place. I wanted to film, and we were downstairs in the cellar, kind of like underneath the stairs. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
One friend, he was reading tarot cards, and we had I was rolling on my camera, just kind of filming it. The one guy, he had a voice recorder. We were just kind of trying to communicate, trying to pick up something, and then all of a sudden, just out of nowhere, we all audibly heard a woman singing at the top of her lungs, and it sounded like it was like right at the top of those stairs right there. So we immediately thought, like, who's in the house? Like, who came in here? And nobody. We were the only ones in there. We didn't leave any equipment upstairs that could have made that sound. It was full out singing, and it cut off too, which was really strange. It was like whoop, like it's like somebody pressed the space bar on her singing. And yeah, I mean, like we tried everything to debunk it. We tried seeing, was it a car outside that just happened to be blasting music and paused it? Was it something upstairs, something in the kitchen that might have made that noise? Was it, what was it? And we could not figure it out. And I actually have the recording on a video on the channel, and you can hear it for yourself. We're all freaked out after we heard it, and that did it for me. That not just for Bel Air, but in paranormal investigations in general. I was like, I cannot, I can't debunk that. That's absolutely insane.
Right. How about the attic down there?
Yeah, the attic is that's a scary place up there. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I personally have never experienced anything up there, but I know a lot of people who have, and it's I sat up there with one other guy while everybody else was like downstairs. We didn't have any equipment running. We just sat in the dark just to see if like we could communicate with something. Nothing really happened, but you kind of just feel uneasy the whole time you're up there.
Right.
See, I can think of two
Good.
things in the attic. One was the bed thing that I was talking about earlier when we ran the EM pumps and the bed was shaking. But one of the other things that happened up there is we were doing like a remote Estes, and Jen was up in the attic by herself. Well, I think Bree was with her,
I hope
unless
so.
it was two different times. Somebody might have been up there with him. We were downstairs too, like asking questions. But anyway, she was talking about Bree because Bree was with us from Old World Paranormal, and she started saying some like mean, violent stuff towards Bree. And the one part, like which we have on film, she's like, Bree. And it's like in a man's voice, like it doesn't sound like Jen talking. And it freaked the hell out of Bree. It freaked out Jen because Jen didn't even know she said it. We played it back for her, and she was like, I don't even remember saying that.
Wow.
But like Bree was like shook the rest of the night because of that.
Mm-hmm. That we were filming, we were investigating down there, and two people. Well, they put a camera, a video camera, just on the door to go up to the attic, and you can actually see the handles trying to turn
Okay.
and go through the door. Yeah, it was really it was a great investigation. But tell me, guys, since Sean, you've been around for a while, and Randall, you're just starting off. What is your favorite place? What would be your number one bucket list and place to investigate?
Ooh.
You go first, Randall.
I think I've answered this before. I've thought about it a lot. I mean, there are so many old castles over in Europe. I'm talking all over Europe, England, Poland, Germany, all those kinds of places. Just anything with that much ancient history behind it is something I would love to go to. Vlad Tepes Castle in Romania. I mean that would be absolutely insane. The I can never pronounce the name correctly. The something salt mines in kind of like in Warsaw, Poland. That would be insane to go investigate. Okigahara Forest in Japan.
Yes,
I think would be absolutely crazy.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, if we're talking like in the United States, I've never been to Bobby Mackey's before, and I'd really like to. I've never
Hurry up,
been.
then.
Did they
Yeah.
close that up? Did they close Bobby Mackey's up?
There was still stuff going on. I think I know within the last few weeks, I knew people that were there. But it's supposed to be getting torn down. I heard like pretty
That
soon.
sucks. That really sucks. Yeah, we got to go like next week.
Thank you,
And
Paula.
like places out west, like the what's like the Winchester Mansion. I can't remember what that place is called.
Winchester
Yeah.
Mystery House.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that's
what I
one.
mean. Yeah.
And like Virginia City in Nevada. Like I've heard a lot of cool things about. So yeah, there's a lot of places I'd like to go.
That's cool. How about you, Sean?
Yeah, it's hard to narrow it down to just one. Winchester Mystery House is definitely on my list. I've always wanted to go there. Even some of the old ghost towns and that out that way out west, I think would be cool. But More like kind of the forbidden places, which will probably never happen, is like Chernobyl. I'd love to go to Chernobyl.
Oh man,
Um,
that's Urbex paradise right there.
yeah. But another one
Radioactive.
that's kind of like out of the box, I guess, which is another one that'll never happen. But I've always wanted to go to like one of the like indigenous communities, the ones that are like afraid of that type of stuff and, have like
Right.
supposedly spirits and stuff. But, I don't
Mhm.
think that would ever be possible.
Never, ever, ever say it'd be
Yeah.
impossible. All you got to do is send an email and see what they have to say. Carla, thank you very much for the birthday wish. River, good to see you. Thank you for coming on. That's my buddy River Rose, and she's really cool. She's really a nice person. Um,
Awesome.
to me, anywhere. I mean, I'm going to tell you my feelings, and I'm going to ask your feelings about it. I really have a hard time watching the paranormal shows. Okay, I really do, and that's from the beginning. And I would like to get your input on it.
I guess I'll go first this time. um, I like a lot of the paranormal shows. I know like Ghost Adventures and Zach Bagans and all that takes a lot of shit from everybody. No one likes him, this and that, everything else. But I mean, honestly, like, I was watching season 1 back in the day. I owned the DVDs. Like, I can't like knock the guy because I mean, he's part of the reason I started watching this stuff.
Right.
Is he a little bit outrageous these days? For sure. But I mean, it's entertainment. I still watch the shows. And I watch Ghost Hunters. I watch Paranormal State. A lot of the older ones. I'm not really big on a lot of the demon YouTube people these days.
Right.
But yeah, like I said, Ghost Adventures and Paranormal State were probably my 2 favorite shows back when they first started.
How about you,
Yeah.
Randall?
I would have to agree with Sean. I do enjoy watching them. I always like to find like new things, and I grew up on Ghost Adventures. That's the kind of thing that got me excited. Like, oh, people actually like do this. That's really cool. But I'm always open to exploring, the different YouTube channels. That's where you'll find like most of the content. But I guess what I really appreciate more than anything is the people who don't. Who are really in it to investigate. They're not just looking for views, and you can easily tell by watching channels. I definitely am more appreciative of coming away with no evidence, but still going to a cool location, still giving it a
Right.
try, than
Yeah.
the potential like oh yeah, this crazy thing happened. It's like, you guys fake that easily, like I don't respect that at all.
Let me see. Cindy says, and Cindy's right. She thinks the producers force them to
Yeah.
dramatize, and they do, Cindy. Oh yes,
Yeah.
yes, and they're not there one night. They spend at least a good 3-4 nights there in order
I
to get
think
it.
I was just going to add in one more thing. That I think that's why I appreciate the urban exploration YouTubers the most, because they are more focused on just exploring like a cool old interesting building, and sometimes paranormal stuff just happens. So
Right.
they're not really in there to force any kind of behavior, or do stuff for clickbait or for views. They do what they do, and then sometimes weird stuff happens.
It left a bad taste in my mouth when I first
Yeah.
started watching. And I just can't bring myself to watch them. I don't know if it's because I do it a different way, because my investigation mode, the way I handle it, is totally different from what you see on, the TV shows. Um, we're getting to we've got about 11 minutes left. And I always bring this up to the paranormal groups that I have on. I would like to hear what your opinion is on paranormal unity, and we'll start with you, Sean.
There's a lot of people that claim it. Follow through with it, I don't know. I mean, we try to work with everybody. We don't want to beef with anybody or anything like that. We've made a lot of friends. But like I said, I do know there's a lot that claim it that don't actually back it up. It would be nice if everybody had everybody's back and wasn't out, for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
But it's kind of rare that you see that.
Why? Why do you think that?
I think some of it has to do with like clout chasing. Like people want to be famous. And if that means throwing your friend under the bus, that's what they're going to do. And it's messed up. That's not how we are. And like I said, I try to like get along with everybody. I try to stay out of drama as much as you can. But in the paranormal field, that's not possible.
That's totally impossible to do that.
Yeah.
I've been thrown under the bus. I've been thrown under the bus many a times, but you know what? It just seems like I bounce back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How about you, Randall?
Yeah, I would agree there as well. I very simply just say give respect, get respect. That's how it works with everything, and you're always going to find people trying to climb the ladder in different ways in every community. That's that's sometimes just how people are, and it's weak, and I don't respect it at all. And just I don't know, just be cool to people. It's
You're right.
everybody's doing kind of the same thing. People just want
Mm-hmm.
to get themselves out there, get the proper exposure, make friends, and all that good stuff. So just don't be like that, I guess.
It's hard to make,
Yep.
and honestly, all the paranormal groups out there is so hard to make friends with other paranormal people. You know what I mean? It really, really is. What do you think,
See,
Sean? You were
the
about to.
thing, yeah, the thing I don't like is, there's been a couple instances like we've, not to like toot our own horn, but we've grown a little bit, in popularity, and
Right.
it seems like people that we knew from the beginning don't support us anymore. Which, what did we do? Like, I have no issue with anybody. Like,
Right.
I still invite you on stuff, but then people start acting shady. We did a big convention in Pittsburgh. There's a group of people I'm not going to name, but I invited them out. We did stuff for them. None of them could come. It's like what did we do? Like, why? I don't know. It just didn't make sense to me.
It bothers you. It really bothers
Yeah,
you.
it does. It does.
Yeah. And then you second guess yourself, and then you're like, okay, you're lost. That's the way I look at it, guys. That's the way I look at it. It's like they're lost. Many people. I had a lot of people in my group that actually left my group in order to start their own group, and I would say to them, "Hey, listen, if you need help, I will help you. If you want
Mm.
any questions." And it's like, no, and their group might last a month or two, and then they're done. And then they talk behind your back, and then you get this and you get that. But this show's about you. So enough of my crying, my crybaby there. Yeah, but we're all on the same boat with that. You know what I mean? I truly believe. I want to get into maybe a couple more questions here. Do you do outside investigations like cemeteries or Blue Mist Road up in North Park?
Yeah, we've done
I've been
Darmine
there.
a couple times, and we did Dead Man's Hollow, Lake Shawnee. We're going to be back at Lake Shawnee actually coming up. Trying to think other outdoor located. We've done like little cemeteries here and there. We're actually going to, I have a camp up Slippery Rock, and I want to get a group of us together, go do like
Mm-hmm.
Snyder Cemetery and Black Cross and like just, a bunch of stuff that's in the area up there.
Snyder is cool. I like Snyder Cemetery.
Yeah. Me and Phil have been there a few times, but it was always during the day. So I want to go back at night.
We have to go to Livermore sometime. You ever heard of Livermore?
Yeah, Night of the Living Dead.
Where's that at?
It's God, what is that out by? It's you go up 22 for a while, like Blairsville. I think it's up by Blairsville, somewhere around there. But yeah, me and my friends used to go up there all the time in high school, and that's a cool spot.
That's where they originally filmed Night of the Living Dead.
So actually, the opening scene, like where the cemetery thing, that like opening shot was Livermore Cemetery, and then they relocated to Evans City Cemetery to film the rest of the opening scene.
Evan
Oh,
City
okay.
I've been to before,
Yep.
but
Yep.
yeah, I've
Yes.
never been to the other one.
River Rose says, I don't understand why people can't unite. We are all in this fishbowl together, and it's why I am mostly to myself on the things I grew up knowing and the trauma I went through as a child, being so sensitive to the paranormal. I agree with you, Riv. I
Yep.
Yeah.
agree with you 100%. Yeah.
Well, that's the thing is a lot of investigators will be like, oh, I'm just here to like help people and that, but you can't even get along with people in your own field. How are you helping other people?
Exactly. Exactly. I mean, PPS went and did, and we mainly did private residences. That's what we did. That was
Mm.
our group. That's what we did. And there was a lot of times, and it really like kind of ticked me off. I won't get you started, Tara. Relax. It's all right. Um, but there were times where other groups would go into a house and they would make the situation harder, worse, you know,
Mm.
and then we would have to go in. If you don't know what you're doing, seriously, please do not go into a house, especially a private residence, and say, hey, we're paranormal investigators. But here's the crazy part about it, guys, and I'll tell you something. Back 2006, 2008, groups used to make the people who lived in the house leave and stay in a motel for the night. I ain't gonna do that. That's my house. I don't know what the hell you're gonna do. Shit.
Yeah.
Real quick, we got about 3, 4 minutes left. About three. What's your feeling on cryptids like Bigfoot, um, UFOs, aliens?
Um,
Okay.
I haven't really done a whole lot with cryptids. I'm not opposed to it. I'd like to. There was a Bigfoot camp out this past weekend in Uniontown.
Mm-hmm.
I tried getting Troy to go. Nobody wanted to go. I wasn't gonna go by myself. So, but I mean, I'd be open to it. I'd like to check out some of that stuff.
Ever since being on the podcast for the last 5 years, honestly, I, I love paranormal investigating, but now I want to experience cryptids. I want to experience UFOs. I want to experience Bigfoot. Get the whole
Yeah.
thing. Thank you, Amanda. I appreciate it. And Randall, how about you?
I think all that stuff is really, really cool. And I definitely believe in aliens. I mean, that's a whole nother show topic to get into, but I've always really wanted to go to that UFO convention in Kecksburg. You ever hear of that one before?
Yes, yes.
Where they believe that they found a UFO, a downed UFO. I've always really wanted to go to that. There's actually a huge like UFO Bigfoot like cryptid community in Pennsylvania that I wasn't even aware
Absolutely.
of,
Oh my
and
God, yeah, it's huge.
Yeah.
I want to get more into it. I think that stuff is really cool.
Down in West Virginia too. Um,
Yeah, for sure.
but no, I definitely do want to get it. Right now, my life isn't good. I mean, right now I'm too busy with other things. So eventually, I get to retire in 3 more years, guys, and then I
Nice.
can do what I want to do. But on the final, I'm going to ask you this final question. What would you tell a person who wants to start paranormal investigating, Sean? You go first.
Um, I mean, I guess, you can always start just doing local cheap stuff, go to a cemetery or some of the known, like I said, like a Darmine or Dead Man's Hollow, one of those type of places that's free to go to. And you can always just start with a cell phone. There's so many things on a cell phone you can do. You can video pictures. There's apps, which I know some people don't believe in apps, but you can use different types of apps. Um, if you have a cell phone, you can pretty much start.
Oh yeah.
Obviously, some of the more expensive equipment would take a little bit of time, but if you're just starting off, it's probably the easiest way, I'd say.
And how about you, Randall?
Yeah, I would say the same thing. Like it's relatively easy to just find like an interesting location, live stream on TikTok, like whatever you want to do, And then I think the more that you do it, and even if you can get one friend to do it with you, then you can start to associate yourself with the paranormal community, kind of like
Right.
I did. I didn't know anybody who was into paranormal stuff. I was just like, I'm the only one I know. And then when you just start to get people interested in it, you find more people, and then you find yourself in a community. So yeah.
I think one of the
Okay.
easiest ways too to like link up with teams is go to a lot of the conventions, because that's where you meet
Yeah.
a lot
Yes.
of people.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree. How can people get a hold of your group, Sean?
Well, we're on all social media, TikTok being our biggest, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Threads, X. We're even on Snapchat, even though I never use it. Also, if anybody, we have a couple publics coming up. We have one at Grand Midway Hotel, and we have one at Old College Hill Hospital. If anybody needs tickets, it's Bumping the Night Society at yahoo.com. Just email me. I can tell you how to get tickets. They're both pretty cool locations. We're always doing publics. So, yeah.
Thank Gentlemen, thank you for coming. I would like to bring you back on in a couple months and see where you guys are
For
up to
sure.
date.
Thank you,
Uh,
Sean. Thank you.
I
Yeah, thank you.
appreciate it
Happy
very
birthday,
much.
Sean.
Yeah. Happy
Thanks,
birthday.
buddy.
Yeah.
Thank you. Children, if you can, please go to your parents and give them a hug and tell them that you love them. And
Mhm.
parents, please go to your children and give them a hug and tell them that you love them. And if you don't have no parents, if you have no children, please find somebody and give them a hug and tell them that you love them. And on that note, good night, everybody. And we shall see you this Sunday coming up. Good night.
Good night.